Culture says, if I visit someone, I have to be given a tobacco. And actually, the best gift you can give to a toposa, a local traditional person, is a tobacco. You report to find elders sitting at a tree and like, hey guys, I brought you some 3 tobaccos here, and I just wanted, actually, especially the politicians they use this for,
to gather support.
Yes, when you give them tobacco, they feel you are part of them, and you think, and so from the age of 10 to 90 years, you can see people really smoking, and which is a very bad practice. So culture has justified it something good, which is not something appropriate.
But I think tobacco, it's health-wise is really bad, right?
That's right.
But I don't think it encourages criminality. Does it do that, or if you don't have it, you have to go and steal it?
I think that most of these drugs, they raise the standard of things. For example, I have to give money daily to buy a tobacco, and of course, when you don't have money, you have to resort to some criminal acts. For example, I need a cow to sell, so I get tobacco. So I have to go and kill and raid something, and then I have money to buy tobaccos and stuff like that. My alcohol, and also a lot of drugs. So,
all right. Yeah. Thank you, Loki. Let's go to Anne. Yeah. And just from last week, just elaborate for us last week what we say. Why are young people still so much interested in taking drugs, despite they really know that drug is bad? And last week somebody asked that, even doctors, they know that cigarette is really bad. They know alcohol is bad, but you find some doctors that are smoking.
Actually, as in our environment here, most people resort to the drugs because of the way of life. Because of the so many things that are happening. People are stressed, they are frustrated with the way we have been having insecurities. Others don't have jobs. Even you find someone who has studied, went to university, graduated, but at the end of the studies, he still doesn't have a job. So he's like, I will take my frustration somewhere and I will get high and it will help me feel better. So, and then there is the peer pressure. You sit in a group of people, they are all smoking. You're like, okay, if my friends are smoking and they are laughing and they are happy, I would love to feel the same feeling. Then you end up also joining them to do the same thing.
Okay, so smoking, like I had this experience. A lot of people tell me that when you smoke marijuana, you feel like even whenever a fly passes like this, starts smiling. So I think it creates some kind of happiness. Yes. So I think people want to be happy. That's why they want to. But you can have happiness without even smoking. You can be happy that, especially in the country that we live in, people are so much frustrated. People are not happy because you see every time you go out, you see things that doesn't please you. So sometimes we think, okay, I'm frustrated and let me just do this. Let's hear what Gak has to say about this.
Well, last week we elaborated a lot of things about drug abuse, and it's so unfortunate to see youth venturing into a lot of drug abuse because the nation really depends on these people. These are the future accountants, the future engineers, the future doctors, and it's something that we can't really tolerate to see the whole generation engaging into drug abuse. If you look at one of the main reasons why people abuse drugs is mainly frustration, peer pressure. And what can we do with that? It's all about self-discipline and also be someone who can take decisions. Because there is nobody who has ever been arrested because he or she has refused to use drugs. Which means if you give an excuse that friends are the ones who are dragging me to this, or ABCD.
I think we'll come. I think the word of today we have to concentrate on solutions. How can we get those who are drug addicts to move away from that? I think last week, for those, I'm sorry for those who have just tuned in for the first time, but last week we discussed a lot of the causes, and we have summarized it right now. Now we want to find, suppose there is somebody there who is a drug addict, a young person. How do we get that person out? But I just want you guys to share your experience. Loki, you were not here during our independence, but the two gentlemen, a lady and a gentleman, you guys were here. I just want us to share our experience here, what happened during independence related to drug abuse among the young people.
First of all, happy 10th anniversary to my motherland, South Sudan. And it was a joyous day because seeing that flag and finally we're having a nation that we can call our own, it gives all of us happiness, despite the fact that we're having some few challenges that definitely will be fixed when we want to fix them.
Yeah.
There were a lot of people who abused drugs during this festive season
Yeah.
because of that happiness. Others think that alcohol or drugs can bring happiness, which is not the case, because I think happiness is just from within.
Yeah.
Especially young people, those who could drink from morning to sunset, not minding of what liver can consume and what liver cannot. It's so dangerous, and there is something called liver cirrhosis,
Yeah.
which can damage your liver, and the moment it has damaged the liver, you can't live any longer. Why should you dig your own grave through your own mouth?
Yeah.
It's better to die of a disease that just gets you, but don't look for it. Definitely.
So you have witnessed a lot of young people abusing
witnessed
drugs on the 9th.
people who drank even until to an extent that they can be picked, put into the car, taken home to go and
Yeah, like for me, I saw 3 people who were lying. I thought they are dead, but this is a live story. The 3 people were lying. Like I thought maybe they were beaten or not, but when we get close, we found out they were just drunk. And I had a guy that, I don't want to mention the company, he works for a very prominent company here. Early in the morning, he went and knocked my friend's fence, just around Equity. He went and knocked, and the guy was, when he came out, there was this red horse drinks was everywhere. And the guy was really staggering, and he was driving a government truck. So you can see that. Now, I want to connect this issue of drug abuse with, and you work a lot on HIV/AIDS.
Yes.
What is the connection between drug abuse and the increase in HIV/AIDS?
This, like you say, you saw very many people who had blacked out that night. It's a simple thing. You go, you drink. Others will get the confidence to do things that they were already thinking that they would want to do. But then there are those that completely go and black out.
Yeah.
A lady drinks alcohol, she blacks out, she doesn't totally know what's happening. In the process that you don't know anything that's happening, you end up probably sleeping with someone you barely know. In the process of sleeping with someone you barely know, you don't know their HIV status, you are not able to see if the person put on a condom or he did not.
Yeah.
Now you are in the act, you're going to remember all these things the next day.
Yeah, and you start regretting.
Yeah, you'll begin regretting all
Yeah,
that
and
stuff.
I think that's why we say young people should really be very careful, because for me, I felt there's a very strong link between drug abuse and the spread of HIV/AIDS.
Yeah.
As you said, someone can go and can get drunk. I'll come to Loki. Someone said, like, if you're in a club, if you drink, you can enter into a club or to a bar. You find when you're sober, you find all ladies are what? They're ugly. So when you take one, you start seeing that changing. You take 2. They become a little bit beautiful. When you're drunk, you say, all these ladies are beautiful. So this is what happens. And of course, the aspect of, like, when you go on bed with a lady or a gentleman, you find you cannot be able to reason, and you end up sleeping without protection, which is really sad. And this is happening a lot. Let's hear what Loki has to say about this.
I just picked the interest in the topic you asked Anne about the HIV and AIDS related to drug abuses. Practically, we are in an urban center. Things like this do happen. But most of our population in South Sudan, like, I think 80% are live in rural areas, and I work in a much rural place, and with things like this. For example, these Toposa youth who really don't know about HIV, they know about it, but they just really think it is never.
I think it's a myth, yeah.
Yeah, so they drink, and with the same issue, women also drink, and then they find a woman stranded somewhere, and then they have a mob rape, and then 6-7 people do that, and of course talking about condoms is never even in their minds that something this do exist. And I've realized that most of our people living in rural areas are experiencing these situations, and I think they are vulnerable to this spread of the HIV and AIDS.
Yeah. And
this is something also we should really try to think how to intervene, because otherwise in the next 10 years we will have a HIV crisis. Yeah.
And I even think now we do have HIV crisis. That's what I think right now, because, like, do we have any statistics of the current one, the numbers of people that are getting infected every year?
Currently, youths are 40%. The youths take 40% of the HIV prevalence, which is very high for us, because HIV has very many. There's the elderly, there's the what, but us as youth to be able to occupy the 40%, it's a big thing, because the whole of South Sudan, it's at a percentage of 70%, but the youth take the 40%.
All right. If you are just tuning in, this is Capital FM 89.0, and the program, of course, is nation building and is governance and nation building. And I'm your host, Daniel Mwaka. You can call me as well, Danny Boyd. And I'm having an amazing guest with me in the studio. I have Loki, I have Gakav, and these are the young people speaking out of experience. They've been with young people and they work with young people. So what they're saying is relating to what is happening. So if you're out there, I'll be able to open my line in like 5 minutes. You can call me on 0922890890. 0922890890. You can share with us your experience, or you can give us a question. You want to ask us a question, you want to share with us your experience. I think someone's already calling before even the 5 minutes elapse, so I think I'm going to pick this one. Capital.
Yes.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, dear. How are you doing?
I'm good. Your name, where you're calling from?
This is Coach calling from Gudele.
Coach calling from Gudele.
Yes.
You're welcome, sir.
I'm really happy with the agenda of today and the program of today.
Thank you.
But the mistakes are just a little. They are not much. They are not many. The problem when you talk of drug abuse and we talk of drinking, these are not the spread of HIV, or these are not just only abusing of drugs. When someone go to the bar, you bring and he didn't know he or himself or herself, that person need to commit suicide. It is not a drug abuse. Because all of the country or all of the world, people usually drink, but I don't know the way South Sudanese used to drink. I don't know. Maybe they are new in drinking. They are still learning how to drink.
Yes.
Yeah, that is one. Two, when you drink and you think of sleeping with a woman or with a gentleman, and you don't know what is in that first, it's still a suicide that you need to make, and you are not doing it to yourself. Maybe you yourself, you have already committed suicide, but you need to destroy other people with you. Other innocent people behind you who doesn't know even what you are doing,
exactly,
or who doesn't know your status. Second, the ladies these days, they don't know, they don't even think of that the checking of the HIV status and so on. And these are real wrong in life for a human being to stay without knowing someone's status.
The status, yeah.
Also, my question to you will be, at least to be good, you have to identify the number of the people who are infected with the HIV. It is better that they carry out the program in all hospitals. Okay? Someone, even a wife and a man at home, they have to go for check-up. But I don't know, some other people refuse. I don't know what is wrong. And it is a part of health.
Yes.
Health is very important in your life. And if you don't check your life status, then it is not good.
Yeah. Okay?
So that is only my simple comment, is that someone who is drinking is committing suicide. He is not thinking about drinking or anything.
Yeah.
Like the other colleague of yours, you have said that I've knocked
the wall fence, yeah.
That person is already at death. At that time, and then he is wrong from there now. He is the one who commits suicide, and no one kills him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right.
So I will stop and then later hear from other colleagues who can comment.
All right. Thank you very much, Coach, from Gudele, for calling and of course giving us. Yeah, I agree with you, Coach. You said it's committing suicide. Honestly, if you get drunk up to X, you don't know yourself. Already you're committing suicide. And there are people that whenever they're drunk, they feel like if you're a man, you feel like having a woman. If you're a woman, you feel like sleeping with a man. And this is very risky. And it happens in the club. I go to the club. Sometimes I go just to learn. what people do in the clubs, and what you see there, it's terrible. So let's go as we wait for those who are calling. You can call us 0922890890. 0922890890. Contribute and ask questions to the guests in the studio. But let's go first and talk about how can we get this drug addict out of that situation? What solution do we have for these young people? And I know a lot of young people are listening right now. Maybe a parent is listening right now and they're struggling with a drug addict child or drug addict daughter, and they want to see how can I really help my daughter or my son get out of this situation. So my guests in the studio, what do you guys have to say? How can you help a youth out there who's struggling with addiction, drug addiction? How can they get out of there? Let me come back to you after this call.
Yeah, hello.
Good evening. Hello.
Hello, how are you doing?
Good. Capital FM. Your name, where you're calling from?
My name is K Pesa.
K Pesa?
Yeah.
K Pesa, how are you?
I am okay, and I really love the topic.
Thank you.
My first time to call on the radio, though. But I am interested to contribute on how we can get out of this situation. You know, basically, there are a lot of students or small kids in town right now, and they're into the drugs.
Yes.
Me, I see the first failure is in the house, where these people are from or where these people are from.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you know, they always say charity from home or at home. If I am one of the guys who can be able to get out of this addict, is want to associate myself with the religious people. You know, basically, like, people ignore the word of God. The word of God does not mean really you have to go to church. It's a transformation of human life. Yeah. So basically, to live a moral life, you can forget a lot of things to do with these drugs.
Thank you.
You get, and secondly, maybe you need to find a way of how you can get a job. Does not mean you have to be in the office. You know, something that keeps you busy. At the end of the day, you find yourself forgetting a lot of things and getting away from the drug. So that is my few advice.
All right.
I would suggest that.
Yeah, thank you very much, Kepesa. Yeah, Kepesa is, I hope he's a Kepesa that I know, who's a video director, and I know he works a lot with musicians and young people. So, and he gave a very good solution before you guys spoke, that you have to associate yourself with religious people if you want to get out of situation, because when you know how religious people act, very holy. You don't do nasty things, and I know Loki, he live with Bishop Paride, and that's why he's very humble, and because they tell you things. And the second thing he said, you have to get a job. If you have, this is the most important thing, get a job, not a white collar job, but get a job. Anything, something that you can do. Now let me give back to you guys. Yes, Anne.
What Tepesa said is right. Other than getting a job, you might not be able to get a job, but be innovative. As a youth, you should be innovative. You should either go learn a skill or do something. Be innovative and do something that's going to keep you active. It doesn't mean like when you get a job means like you're going to go somewhere and maybe expect someone to give you something to do. But you yourself as a youth can create something, empower yourself to do something, and at some point, even if like you probably don't have a job in the moment, as in the process of like trying to get the job, you could be active in the process. When you feel like you need to get high or something, go do some exercises, go play some soccer, go play some basketball, go do anything that's going to keep you active, that's going to keep you away
so
from,
keep yourself busy,
to keep you away from the alcohol. And the other thing is, it's as a parent who is seeing someone like that, we need these youths, whoever is addicted needs psychosocial support. Psychologically, they need to be supported. It's not easy for someone to jump out of an addiction. It's not a one day thing that you decide to say like, I'm going to jump out of this and I'm going to stop. You need support.
It's a process. And
as a youth, as a person, you need also to surround yourself with the right people. If you keep on surrounding yourself with the people that are going to be like, you stopped taking that, let's go back, you can have some few, today is Independence Day, you can, you need to surround yourself with right people. The more, because there's this saying,
I think you surround yourself with the right people that respect your choice.
Yes.
Because there are these people, you go to a club, you say, no, for me, if I take two, that's my limit. I can take it to say, no, man, you have to take some. They keep on pressurizing to take more. And these are kind of the friends that you need to avoid. Like, there was a time I was in a club, I was taking soda. I think I told you guys this experience. So some guy came from there, hey man, I can buy for you a drink. Why are you taking soda? I was like, no, no, you must be broke. So when people see you taking water or taking soda in a club, they think you don't have money. So people think when they buy a lot of drinks and they say, oh, this is the guy, who's this the big guy in the club? Yes, you can continue, please.
Yeah, basically that's it. You know that saying where they say like, show me who you move with and I'll tell who you are.
Exactly.
It's just you look at your friends, if they are all drug addicts, they are all, you could be a good example to them. And you'd be like, yeah, I was able to move out of this addiction.
Yes.
You can as well. So follow what I do and do this and that.
Exactly. I said, if you want to know who you are, look around. The 5 friends you always hang around with. Check out the 5 guys. If they are wrong people, that means you're also a wrong person. So always you have to check your friends, those you associate with them, you talk to every time. The 5. So if you find the 5, out of the 5, 3 of them are not right. That means you're among the 4. 4 of them are not right. So let's go to Gak, yes. How can we get this young drug addict? Not only young, I know that all people who are also struggling. No, it's not easy. There are people who are struggling. How can I stop drinking? But they still go back and drink. How can I stop smoking? They still go back and smoke. Yes.
What I can say, first of all, you need to take control of your life. Life doesn't have any spare part. Once it is lost, you will lose it and you will never come back. With that, if you are drug addict, it's upon you to talk to yourself, because even if you receive millions of advices and you don't advise yourself, the advice that you give yourself is the most important thing in life. That is when you go and sleep and you remember, Daniel Moka told me this, God told me this, Anna told me this, and now as a person I have to do this. That's the most important thing. Number 2, most of the drug addicts and the age that most of young people fail is at the teenage. During adolescent age is where young people always need a lot of concern and they need to be controlled and advised. Otherwise, if you don't take care at that age, your child might easily get spoiled by the peer pressure.
Yeah.
The reason why I'm saying this, I'm having a good friend of mine who was very intelligent in class when I was in primary, to an extent that he even skipped one class and still managed to get an A in primary 8. That was back in Kenya. I won't disclose the name, but what happened to this boy when he reached to high school, the guy continued with good performance up to Form 4, that is Senior 4 if you use syllabus of Uganda and South Sudan. During the first term, the father was so happy to, and then sent the guy $500. You know, as a student in the boarding school, receiving $500 cash in your pocket, and there's Gideri mixture of beans and trust you me, the boy couldn't sit down. He had never tasted alcohol, but that money made him crazy. To an extent, he used to sneak every day until he was expelled.
So you're telling us that parents should stop giving a lot of money to their children?
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is there is a certain age whereby a boy might not handle a certain amount of money.
Exactly. That's what I'm driving
at.
Like
now, me as God, there's a certain amount of money that I can still handle at my age. But assuming you come today and pop, you give me $3 million.
We shall find you in Las Vegas.
Even if I've been very intelligent and planning my own life, I start to think of how to fly to Malaysia, how to go to South Africa, and even see the Mediterranean Sea and all those kinds
how to meet Beyonce.
Perfectly. You see, so at teenage age, that's why you see most of the time, children that are coming from well-off family most of the time become drug addicts. Not because they're having bad parents or something like that. Their parents are doing their best to take them to the best school, but what they could do is get into drugs because they are not mature mentally to handle a certain amount of money, and that money is available in their pocket. So let's also be mindful of the stage of maturity of our kids. Otherwise, we might spoil them, not knowing and thinking that we are doing good for them because you suffered during your childhood. Now you want to provide and avail everything to your child. It's a process. Just give them a bit by bit so that they can also understand. If someone comes and says, yesterday I slept hungry and I didn't eat anything, that child should be able to understand. But if you provide everything from childhood to adulthood, and then if someone says, I miss lunch, he or she will be laughing. What does it really feel to be hungry? So sometimes we're having hands in spoiling our kids, and to those who are already drug addicts, it's a process. Let's not just judge them, because if you come with harsh words and you judge immediately, they might block their mind and even decide not to listen to you. But the moment you understand certain bit of why they're doing what they're doing and the better part of life, why they should do that, giving them something to do, engaging them positively, because idleness is contributing to a lot of drug addictions. Someone has nothing to do, he has no job, then friends come around and think,
let's go and drink.
Let's go to High Malakal and have some few 1-2. Let's go to Roadhouse, let's go to... I'm not saying, I'm not campaigning those clubs, but they're very important. Hang out, but hang out responsibly.
I just want to go back to what you said on giving a lot of money to children. I studied a lot of rich kids. They come from rich families. And now by the way, the truth is, and I know some of my friends that we studied together, if they're listening, they will attest to this. We have a son of a minister. In fact, the whole family. These guys who are very close, when they're coming for like they're reporting to school, they come to over 1 million Uganda shilling by that time.
Which is how much dollars?
Which is around that's around $300. Around $400. 3 point something. That's just when they're reporting pocket money, and they have everything. Before during visitation, they bring them more money. And right now, if you, I'm sad to say this, if you find them right now, you won't believe it. Because I think their parents sometimes they substitute money with love. With the thing when you give a lot of money to a child is you love them more. When you give them more money, it's like you really care for them. But they forget that money is not. Advice is more than that money. Being there for your child, seeing what your child does, and I think parents has to be blamed for this because they feel like, hey, having enough money, even though I'm not in the life of my child, I can keep sending them money. You know that in Uganda, keep sending them money. I don't know how they spend the money. Every time they call, hey, we need money, you keep on sending. You know how this money is being used. And I think this is why let me say this, and this is the truth. Most of the kids that grew in East Africa, most of them are drug addicts.
And Dan, I'm saying this with bitterness because seeing an intelligent friend being lost into drugs because the father wasn't patient for only 9 months to wait for that boy to finish his school. It's so bad. If you look at most of the guys that are doing well right now, especially in Juba and South Sudan, most of them come from humble background.
Humble families.
And that thing has really taught them how to struggle, how to fight for it. But for those who came from rich background where fathers did not want their children to suffer the way they suffered, they end up spoiling them. So who is having hand? The kid who decided to go for drugs, or
the parents who provide the money?
Parents who provide everything that a child cannot manage to eat dairy in boarding school. When there is a share outside, there is chapati, and not chapati of nowadays, chapati during boarding school. It used to be delicious. Come on.
All right, I think Gaga's a very good point, and I think parents should take note of this, that they should, you have to be the life of your child. Money is not, you can't constitute money with love and care and advices to your child. So to some extent we blame parents. And also I want to bring this aspect where, as a parent, you come home every time drunk. The father is drunk, the mother is drunk. You come home at midnight, you leave home at 3, 4 a.m. in the morning. Your child wakes up and doesn't know, do I have a father, or who is my father? They don't know, they don't even see you. I see. So a child, you know what a child does during the day. The child come home at 10, you come at around 1. So you don't know who came early at home. I see. So sometimes think your child is reporting early, but during our days, trust me, by 6, you have to be home. By 6, if you see your father come and you're far away, the way you run, so you reach home fast. So I don't see this thing happening right now. Yes.
And Dan, to some extent, we are who we are now because of somehow coming from humble background. Personally, when I was in primary 4, our house did not have a television, but when we come to school, people will talk about soap opera. This happened last night, and tomorrow this will happen. Trust me,
I hope you watch Second Chance.
I would really feel bad. I would just go back to the class, and I tell myself, when I grow up, my house will have a television and my kids will be watching that television. That inspired me to work hard, and I had something to work for.
I hope you bought a television, Kalas.
Maybe I now have to
Congratulations.
And I'm very sure my kids will have that chance to be watching it.
Yeah.
But for those kids who had everything at childhood, they have nothing to dream of.
Yeah,
all they could do is, how could they spend this money? If they stay with it in school, that money will not end. If they come home, you're coming for visiting next 2 weeks, you will come with more money, and at home all clothes are there, and you end up spoiling your own child. Maybe if some of us had grown up in those rich families, we might have been.
But there are a lot of kids who are coming from rich families, and they're okay. They're doing well. They're educated. They're so much respectful. Let's hear to what Locke is saying.
I really don't want us to, depict that rich parents are kind of a bad picture. No, I really don't want to say that. I think most of our dreams is to be, well off in life, and the most important thing is how we position our families. I don't think now we have started, we are now able, we have some, small thing. We can think that we can afford what our children could. So we can even be categorized as rich parents, because we are now reaching a stage of parenthood. I don't want to say rich. We don't have to be rich parents and spoil our kids. No. The most important picture here is that most of our families have lived. We are a new country with a very low standard of living, which means most of our parents are not well off. Then on the side of when you're not well off, the most important thing is you have to self-realize yourself, like, okay, this is me and this is me. I know where I'm going and I'm focused on this and this. I think most of us will testify to that. On the other side of rich parents is we don't have to fall into the pride and I want to be the well-known neighbor around. I throw parties, my children drives
latest cars.
It's not about that. It's not about that. The moment you are there, you struggle to be there. You don't have to make it easy for yeah. Okay, I come from Capoeira too. We have some well-off families which I cannot mention in this pretext, but the same experience as what you have said. Most of their children, fall into the trap of, being spoiled. But I've seen also some of their children are well off now because it's just a matter of self-realization. I think those children knew that this is where my dad was, and I think I have to strive more than him. But some of us fall into the pride. I said most of it is like the pride. Oh, my father is rich; he gives me this, and then I can get this girl. I don't do this thing, and then I can party today and do that, stuff like that. So this is where we lose ourselves.
Yeah, lose focus. Yes.
Lose focus.
Yes. And do you have another reason how we can get these young people out of addiction?
I think most of my colleagues have said most important things, which has to be with oneself. About ourselves. But also the background, the surrounding around us also matters.
Exactly.
And I think I place one big task to the government. The government must play a big role. Most of us, we don't regulate this, drinking things, habit and stuff like that. From morning to evening, I'm in a bar, and the government is seeing this and they are not acting on it. And most of us, we have, one thing I love about South Sudan is that it was born in a period where other countries around it have gone a step, a milestone. Yeah. So what we have to do is to accelerate our speed so that we catch up with them, which is a good thing. We are motivated by our neighbors.
Yeah.
Like go to Uganda, go to Kenya. People mean business. In the morning, the whole family leaves for work. I have to fight. Then later on, we'll come with something.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now, the problem we have in our country is dependency. one person works for 50 members of the family. Coming back home, he has to feed these people, somebody with money and stuff like that, which is a very wrong perspective. So I really encourage the law enforcement, institutions to act on this. For example, regulating drinking times.
Drinking times.
Yeah, if you say any bar operating from before work is done will be closed.
I think at certain point, I've seen they were doing it. Bars but still you find people are very funny. Someone can say, okay, you close your bar, open at 5 after work, but you find people open the bar, lock themselves inside, they're drinking from inside. See how funny people are. So the government is trying to control this, but you still want to. You come with another plan B. That is, the government does this. What can I do on this? So this is what is happening here.
I know that. But the most. I have been in Rwanda for 4 years now, since 2017. 3 years, I think. And Rwanda is one biggest country with law respect. You know what? It's the police. Even if one police can command the whole country. And I think it has come to a value where we try to, teach the citizens the importance of respecting the law. If you respect the law and do the right thing, you are on the safe side. And if you do this, then you pay for it. And this is what we have to strive for. We don't have to lose hope and say, these citizens of South Sudan, they are always like this. If we say that, we are also losing to control people. So I think we must fight hard to make this happen.
Yeah, I think before I end the show, I'll read something later. But for me also, I think just to summarize, I think the issue our parents have to do a lot. There's a lot of work our parents have to do. There's a lot of work our government has to do. One thing you find, this issue of niggers throwing parties. These guys can even hire Freedom Hall and they throw parties. And these are young boys. They throw big party. You find they're dancing, they're drunk, the nasty things happen in such place, and the government is not seeing anything. They're not saying anything. You find at 3 p.m. these kids are locked. They have locked themselves in a club. They're dancing. Honestly, where does it happen in any other country in the world? And our government is watching, and they're destroying the future of this young. They think this is life. One funny thing with young people, if you give them money, they're drinking, they're taking away, they think this is life, and this is not yet life. So I'm just going to pick one more call, then I'll summarize the show. Before I do that, I'll have to read what I'm supposed to read. So I just want you guys to, if you have anything to say again, then. We have another caller here. I think this is Coach.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's still Coach.
Yes.
I need to comment shortly.
Please.
About what you have said now, it has touched me outside here. Once we talk about I think my brother there has talked about the law. Like Rwanda, it has been for crisis until it become a devolved country with the government and everything. For South Sudan also it has a law, but the problem of South Sudan, like this issue of niggas we are talking about today, now if you arrest someone and you put it in custody, the parent will come from there by all means necessary to remove that guy.
In a full uniform, come on.
The problem is not that you cannot support your child to do worst thing. You support your child to do a best thing that can interest the person. A child can grow up in the responsibility of the parents, and he's going to do the thing that can favor the nation, not the thing that can favor only the parents.
Exactly.
And every success of the person, it is starts from the family until you become in another nation. Okay? Not all of them to be here in Africa. They can go outside the country and see how do people act outside the country. Okay?
Yeah.
But now the main problem here in South Sudan is that the parents, they are even spoiling the children.
Yes.
Because now, I can tell you, your child, if you see him doing that, will you be happy to give enough money?
Of course not.
And that child is not yet educated. You show the way of the school to a child, not showing him a way of class, not showing him a way of being a nigger, not showing him a way of drinking. These are all wrong curriculums.
Exactly.
When we come back again to the other thing of closing bar and open at 5, You know, we South Sudanese, we don't respect ourselves. You know, we don't have respect to our government. If we have respect to our government, you yourself, you are a business person. You open that place for business. Yes, if government say that you have to close at this time and you open at this time, it is a law that they have tell you. But you violate that law into your own way that you know. By violating it and you close yourself inside drinking. Yes, it is good for you to close yourself inside drinking. But when you are found, okay, you will. The government will judge you according to the law.
Yes.
You know, there's no law without what? Without order. And there is no order that can go out without monitoring. You know? Like now, if you can see the street of custom, how do you feel anyway? The time that mayor has come across that way and say that all of this rubbish, I don't like it here.
Yeah.
Now you see that road is clean because there is monitoring, and if there is no monitoring, he can talk, and once he has left that place, still people can resume.
Yeah.
Do you see that?
Yeah.
If there order that has come out from the government, there must be a monitoring.
Must be respected, yeah. All right. Thank you.
I will end here.
Thank you very much, Coach. I just want to read this before my guests in the studio, before they say the last comment. I don't know where this came from, but I saw it has been forwarded in different groups. Let me just read what is here. As a very humble request to all South Sudanese, send this to at least 5 people and ask them to send it to 5 people and continue the chain in order to change the behavior of our society for a better future, for the better. So one is, do not throw waste on road and street. 2, do not spit on roads and walls. 3, do not write on the walls or on the coin. 4, do not abuse or insult others. 5, keep time and appointment. 6, save money and save water and electricity. 7, plant a tree and hope it will be fruitful. 8, follow the traffic rules and do not smoke in public places. 9, do not give or assist an employee with a bribe. 10, take care of your parents and the elderly and always respect them. 11, respect the women. 12, make way for ambulance. 13, we have to change ourselves, not the country. And as soon as we change ourselves, the country will automatically change. 14, if you want our children to live in a clean and safe environment, make a commitment to follow it in your daily life. 15, no leader can change the country, you and I can change ourselves. 16, consider the street as your home. Do you like to see it dirty and disorganized? 17, consider that the money of the state is your money. Do you like it being robbed? 18, consider the state facilities are your property. Do you like to see them dirty and inappropriate for receiving guests? 19, start with yourselves and then let others follow the lead. I know you guys must have seen there's a lot of things. I like what he's saying, that you cannot change a country, but you have to change ourselves and the country will change. The same thing I think Rwanda is the best study in the world, where people always refer to Rwanda, how Rwanda is clean, how people respect the law. And I think we need to bring this here. And this starts with the young people, by the way. And it should start with our children, not even us now. To start from the children in primary. We start teaching them good ethics, how someone should behave, respect. And when you talk about respect, man, you find young guys don't respect their parents. You find somebody quarreling with the father and standing, what will you do? And they abuse the father. I was like, this generation is done, trust me. So I think this brings us to the end of the show, but before I close officially, I just want to let my guest give me their last remarks, then we'll officially close my show. But we have the extremists going on with our Ricky and our Wilma. They'll come back immediately after this and give you more vibes. Yes, let's start with Loki.
Thank you very much, Daniel, for inviting me for this important topic. I just kind of was caught by the readings, what you said. And the first one is like, for example, most of the change we want to start with us. And, say, be the change you want to see. And I just also came up with, okay, this is why we go out there, we study outside, and we come back and we change at least something. I've been in Rwanda, which is a big exemplary. First of all, it went through a very thrilling genocide.
Genocide, yeah.
And now it's 25 years, one of the best peaceful countries in the world. And actually in Rwanda, one thing you are certain is like you will not die of robbery or a bullet. You know that. For example, you can die from any other thing, but not from any criminal things. The second thing is what I studied there, and I think most of our leaders also go to Rwanda and see that it's one of the cleanest country in the world. And yes, it's not the city only, it's from the village, and it starts from the village. The citizens have realized how important it is to keep the country clean. I've seen, when you come back here, it's so shameful sometimes to see our country, especially our national city, which is the example. When someone new, an investor comes to the country, the first picture is the city. If they see a very, disorganized city, it gives a different impression of what country it is.
Yeah.
And this is about, the cleanliness. I just want to give one simple advice, which I know if our leaders are listening and will want to, emulate this, is how to do our cleanliness in this city. In Rwanda, the last weekend of the month, citizens are in the streets. No car, no what. Everyone is in the street trying to do some cleanliness. Just one Saturday, you see, and that is what has changed Rwanda. A simple thing that we citizens can do. We have to, I love our environment, love our city, and we want to walk in a city where you feel like I am in a country that I have to be, And South Sudan is so potential of this.
Yes.
So I'm just giving this to our fellow citizens. Let's start to work on ourselves and our places and our surroundings. Thank you very much.
All right, let's go to Mr. Gak.
Well, my last word, I would start by saying happy independence once more. And secondly, drugs, you got them when they are here on this world, and you will leave them. So don't bring or abuse them as if you're having any competition with them, or as if they kill any relative of yours that you want to revenge. That should not be the case. They are there, take them responsibly. Do not allow them to take you.
Exactly.
Be taking it, and we're going to have a better nation, because the more we lose one person to drug that is there, it's not going anywhere. It's so painful. Otherwise, take control of your life, be responsible, take care of everyone that is around you, always be advising people rightfully. Don't be enjoying to see
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't always enjoy to see others spoil, because the others who always spoil others intentionally. The others who enjoy failure of their colleagues, which is a very bad thing. The more your colleagues are successful, they can also pull you up, and the whole nation will be up.
Exactly. Yes, let's go to Anne.
My colleagues have said like everything. What I simply want to say is we as the youth, we all know we are the largest population here. It can, and we are the future of this country. It can begin with us, and it's simple. We don't have to like say I'm going to wait for a group of youths to do it. Be you yourself. Stand up, you as a person. Look in the mirror. You are the person that will change, make the change.
Yes.
With the drugs, with the community. If it's just simple throwing trash, pick the trash instead of throwing this cup in just the community. Pick it and take it to the dustbin. You are making change. You as a person, it's going to begin with you. Be innovative as much as possible. Keep yourself busy. Do things that are going to make an impact on your life, because we are the future of this country.
All right, thank you. If you just tune in, we're just closing the program called Youth Governance and National Development. Of course, it comes to you every single Monday from 7 to 8, and we bring different people and discuss topics that affect the youth and how we can shape the future of young people for a better future of South Sudan. And today I had Mr. Loki, I had Gak, and I had Ant, and I had a very good discussion. You can as well follow this on Capital FM page 89.0. Like that page, and you'll be able to watch the video live, how the discussion went through. If you just tune in right now, you're never too late. You can go to our Facebook page, like it, and you follow the program. We're both online, of course, and on air. And of course, such discussion always come to you at Daniel Show, which happens every Tuesday from 6 to 9 at Notos Kololo. So tomorrow we have a very interesting topic. We're going to reflect on the 10 years of South Sudan. What have we achieved for the past 10 years, and what are the hopes hopes of young people for a better South Sudan? What's the hopes? What do you expect to see in the next 5 to 10 years? And tomorrow we'll be having, of course, the National Youth Union Chairperson, Mr. Gola, will be having, of course, Minister of Information, and the leader, of course, we'll be having Paulino as well. Honorable Paulino will be discussing this, taking us through this. And remember, this is free and it's brought to you by Capital FM and, of course, Noto. So every time you have to make sure that you pass by and tune always, of course, on your number one radio station 89.0 to keep yourself with better informations and, of course, better entertainment. I'm leaving right now, and of course, Ricky and Wilma will be coming to take you with the Extreme Show, and it's going on as usual. Thank you.
Peter Miles, we sing upliftment for the poor ghetto child. Make them know we spread love all the while. So just listen to my profile. Alright, ghetto youth is a for the ghetto youth. Ghetto youth is a for the ghetto youth. We have to make them know them roots. Living in a life that we dream put back there as ghetto youth. Let's us make shut up, we have the use. How we can start from page in the news to make the bad mind confused. So we have to work harder, make bad mind go harder. Make the mama for the brother, so me stand taller and constantly wiser. To make the bad mind go away. Jaja shower blessings for me, they put me troubles behind me. I may live another day, now I'm gonna be farming. It puts up resistance, I make them get out of way. So we know worry when bad mind people are stressed. Hey, that is how we say. Hard work and perseverance to your set of your broken, you must get paid. Alright, Peter Miles, them now have to see we smile. Them rather see we mash up our weed, them one style. Father God bless me, from a little child. So the blessing them a flow like the great river Nile. So life is the greatest gift that fall. So get our youths work hard and stand tall. When we stress to the Father, my task me and stand call. Me bad mind know me now fall. Just show up blessings for me. Me put me troubles behind me. I may live another day, now I'm gonna be farming. It puts up resistance, I make them get out of way. So we know worry when bad mind people are stressed. Hey, that is how we say. Hard work and perseverance to your set of your broken, you must get paid. Long time you never realize. Sorry, could I live, I'm gonna see another day. But again, I feel so nice. The church are gonna take me like the way. Long time you never realize. Sorry, could I live, I'm gonna see another day. But again, I feel so nice. The church are gonna take me like the way. Jaja shower blessings for me. They put me troubles behind me. I may live another day. Now I'm gonna be farming. They put up resistance. I make them get out of way. So we know worry when bad mind people are stressed. Hey, that is how we say. Hard work and perseverance to your set of your broken, you must get paid. Jaja shower blessings for me. They put me troubles behind me. I may live another day. Now I'm gonna be farming. They put up resistance. I make them get out of way. So we know worry when bad mind people are stressed. Hey, that is how we say. Hard work and perseverance to your set of your broken, you must get paid. Are you broken, you must get paid. Are you broken, you must get paid.
Hey, Mama Nick, good morning. You look happy and relaxed. Yes. I'm excited to have my children back in South Sudan after a very long time. They have been studying in the neighboring country for the last 8 years. Finally, what changed your mind? You have always had doubts. Not anymore. There has been a lot of improvement in the education sector in the country. The quality of education has improved and there is peace and stability. I no longer see the need to spend a lot of money on education in a foreign country.
Indeed, Rock Media is proud to have been part of the journey to restoring sanity in education in South Sudan. From our inception, we have worked to provide printing solutions to improve the level of education in the country. And late 2020, we were contracted to print over 500,000 books, which were part of the 1.12 million books that were handed over to 3,700 schools in South Sudan by Save the Children in partnership with Norwegian Refugee Council, Thin Church Aid, and the South Sudan Ministry of Education and Instruction. As a local company, we believe in providing local solutions to local problems and empowering the nations through quality education. Our aim is to work with the government to improve the student-to-textbook ratio, especially at a time when COVID-19 has imposed the need to maintain safe social distance to contain the spread. Rock Media Printing Press joined South Sudan in celebrating 10 years of independence. We have been part of the journey.
And body needs healthy food. Stop looking for where to have breakfast, lunch or dinner. Drive and walk to Juba's world-class restaurant, Juba Super Restaurant and Sky Garden Rooftop, both located at Juba Town, BC Jubek Center, first floor opposite Juba Bus Park. Come get total satisfaction on one roof at Juba Super Restaurant and Sky Gardens Rooftop for both local and continental dishes. We also offer outside catering services, host weddings, birthdays, graduations and all types of parties. For your workshops and trainings, we have enough and comfortable space. Is your wife, in-law or friend expecting? Surprise her with a baby shower at Juba Super Restaurant and Sky Garden Rooftop. You are also welcome to quench your thirst with our drinks as you feed your eyes with Juba's Sky Look from above. We are available for your breakfast, lunch and supper starting 8:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. CAT. For more information, direction and booking, call 0916-893-350 or 0928-450-784. Juba Super Restaurant and Sky Rooftop. Satisfaction for healthy living.
The Extreme Show. Nothing but the best tunes.
Number one hits music station.
Number one. Broadcasting live every day. 6 to 9 CAT. Right here on 89.0 Capital FM.
Capital FM.
Capital FM.
Capital FM 89. Capital FM 89.0 FM. Hey, try.
Kimasomaso, nifuta machozi, nifuta jasho, nimesahau machungu na enjoy kwako, niko dunia nyingine, tachonga barabara ya mapenzi nipite nawe, iwe imara kwa ujenzi kokoto mawe, naomba sana kwa Mwenyezi nizikwe nawe. Oh my God, I feel so lucky to have you in my life, oh my life. You are the blessing brought for me from above. Oh my life, I'll be your man forever. Will you be my wife, Baba Lord? Atuline me now, together for life. Unapendeza sana sana.